TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop. Come on, baby, higher. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the week. Friday is here. The weekend is here. Happy hour. The closing bell. 2 hours early. It's hotter than Haiti here in Cape Cod. There's been power surges. Internet is wonky. Yada, yada, yada. My point is we muscled through a show this morning in Canada with good friend and colleague, of course, Mr. Andrew McGinnis on his channel and Wager Talk. And then we came back at 1 o'clock. We went from Cape Cod to Las Vegas with Sean Alvarez talking Saratoga and two great races coming up this weekend. So I'm like, Riley, what is your schedule? I was like, we better get it while we can, so that's why we're here. But first and foremost, a shout out to our two proud partnerships and sponsors, WagerWire. If you haven't downloaded the app, head on over to Google Play, download it. It's free. I promise. This fall is going to be bedlam. We're going to be doing either daily or at least a couple times a week shows directly from the app. We're going to be checking tickets, checking the true value versus what the cash out is and how everyone is getting screwed. Never mind what our home state guys, DraftKings, is going to do in 4 states, the old double tax. We're going to charge you for juice. And if you lose, well, we got the juice. But we're going to still charge you for juice. And if you win, we're then going to charge you for a tax. So think about it this way, guys. And it's not going to happen in Massachusetts. Think about it this way. If I find a beautiful dog and I'm getting plus 150, 180, whatever it is on this dog, I'm getting charged 3.5% on that. So the bigger the dog, the bigger the tax. So it's like double dipping in my eyes, and I do a show weekly with Julian Edlow from DraftKings, so it's kind of ironic and amazing. I'm not here. I'm not the judge all be all, but it's kind of crazy. I have my take on it, and I'll save it for a rainy day. And lastly, shout out to CT Bets, who we hope to have on this fall. And Viva Tequila Seltzer, brand new flavor. About 10 days ago, I think last week, coconut. Head on over to your local water and hole sports bars, casinos, Boston Garden, and take advantage of them. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. So without further ado, the co-star, Mr. Riley Magnuson. What's up, champ?
What is up, my friend? Happy Friday. I am feeling good. We've been enjoying some Olympics all week long, and now we get some nice Olympic golf. heading our way these last couple of days. I haven't, can't say I've been waking up at 2, 3, 4 a.m. to watch it in its entirety, but was able to watch a little bit today, so I was glad for that, and have been enjoying some, obviously some random sports, as well as being pretty tapped into the basketball that's been going on. So excited for all of that, but obviously we've got all things baseball today and maybe a little UFC over the weekend. But it is a good Friday, my friend. It's been a good week, so I am ready to roll here.
I had somewhere where I was going to start. I talked about it on Andrew's show, but since you brought up 3 a.m. Olympics and golf, I'll start there. I was one that it's usually around that time where I'm up for the second time to go to the bathroom. You get to a certain age, Riley, you'll find out in 30 years or 25 years. You get up a lot more than you do right now. And my point is, it was 3 a.m., boom, turn it on, and I'm watching golf at 3 a.m. A cup of coffee and some dipping. And I'm like, Jesus, I am getting old. And my point is, I read the circuit board before they teed off. I brought this up to Brady Kannon via text. I think I talked about it with you. If I didn't, I am now. The first time all year in the world of Scotty that after the first round, I know Matsuyama had a 2-shot lead on Xander, and I think Xander might have had a 3 maybe a 1 or 2 shot lead on Scotty as well. But here's my point. The first time all year, Scotty was not the favorite after the first round. And the guy with the lead was not the favorite after the first round. Mr. Xander Schauffele was the leader and, the favorite after the first round. And I talked to a few colleagues, and listen, I can read the board with the best of them. I'm a numbers guy, and I can smell rat. I can smell it, and if I have any questions, I just DM my good friend, Mr. Jeffrey Benson, who's in charge of the Circa Sportsbook, and he can either talk me off my ledge or he can say I'm right, wrong, or whatever, indifferent. So my point here, very simply, is our good friend and producer, Noah Frank, reached out to me, and he goes, hey, that Geiger guy had a great round, and do you think he has a chance? I says, well, let me get the circuit numbers and let me figure it out. Usually with a big round, as you and I and everyone else knows, the R word will peek in, especially in golf. That's the regression. If you make a huge move to get to that spot and your name is not Scheffler, Xander, Rory, Rahm, whatever, you're probably going to maintain or take a step back. So Geiger was plus 12,000 to win the tournament. So I told Noah, I love where your eyes are. If you want some pizza and beer, if you want him to win a medal, fine. And I will explain the board right now. Currently at the Circa, Xander Schauffele plus 185, Tommy Fleetwood plus 400, Matsuyama 525, Rahm 550, and the betting favorites, Scheffler plus 1275, Rory plus 3700. So as I explained to Noah, as I will explain to everyone watching and listening here, how the I see it. Now, again, there's 36 holes left. But I was born at night and not last night. So I will go on record at 3:10 on August 2nd and say Xander Schauffele will defend and win the gold. I'm going to take it a step further. Tommy Fleetwood will win silver. And then it's a mad dash. Rahm, Matsuyama. I like the form Rahm's in. I like the pride with Matsuyama. If someone wanted to get their Scheffler on at plus 1275 or Rory, God bless you. I'm not telling you not to. But my eyes, my exacta right now is Xander Schauffele gold, Fleetwood silver. And if you said, well, pick one, I'm taking it with me. Xander will defend and win the gold.
I am not going to dispute you at all, and I mean, there's a lot of ways that I can add on to what you're saying. I mean, Scotty Scheffler at the very least, you see him at 11-1, 12-1. I don't remember what you said for Circa there. I see him on 1275. 1275, so a lot better price and obviously they come and go for different golfers there. But on DraftKings, 11-1, you can get him to finish top 5. Doesn't seem too crazy for Scotty Scheffler to finish top 5 at -105. That seems like some free money there, right? Right? Probably. Again, could he? Is he obviously capable of finishing top 5? We've seen it a million times, of course, but. If that, let alone to win, isn't enough to scare you off a little bit, I don't know what it is. And I'm with you, especially for a guy like Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, if we were talking about John Rahm as being 350, 4-1 as the number 2 guy, then I'd say John Rahm's taking silver. But especially when you're talking about Tommy Fleetwood, a guy who we haven't really seen come up big in big moments like that. I mean, he's obviously a huge fan favorite, but I'm with you as far as him. And then. Yeah, as far as picking that third guy, I'd feel a lot better if Matsuyama was a bigger, or closer to where Tommy Fleetwood is if he was finishing top 3. Of course, like you said, it's a mad dash. Any of these guys could do it, but I'm almost as interested in someone like Tom Kim there, who's got higher odds than Rory to win the whole thing. So I might go and say Tom Kim, bronze, that kind of take a bigger swing with Tom Kim there. If you gave me all the same odds and it was based on these numbers, but you're giving me the same numbers, same odds, and you had to pick somebody, take the numbers out of it that you're seeing now, but you can use those numbers to make a decision. I might go John Rahm to get third there, especially the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks there, but. I'll go with a couple different here and say John Rahm and Tom Kim to take that bronze medal, my friend.
No, I love it. And again, you have to also take into consideration, we talked about it pre-flop. We'll talk about it next week as well, the pride factor. Some of these guys came in gunning for one thing, the gold. Silver, and no discredit to anyone that's winning silver medals, bronze medals. It's just an honor and a privilege to be at the Olympic Games, which I know these guys and women out there all do feel that way. But it's a mindset. I can tell you right now, Rory didn't come here shooting for a bronze. I can tell you personally, he wasn't shooting. He's right. Had that type of finish to the year. It's probably not going to end well come FedEx Cup time as well. John Rahm with the big win last week, slowly rounding into form. And what is he really doing here? He's setting up next year. He's setting up, hey guys, I had a rough start. Counting all that money over in the Live Tour. No, I don't like the scream and the holler and the beer, the shorts, the 3 rounds. I don't like any of it. But I fought through it. I won last week. And now here I am fighting for a medal here for my country. So it's going to be a great, great finish. And I kind of hope I'm not up tonight at 3 a.m. But if I am, I know I will be there. So that great, great stuff to start here. Second of all, I want to bring up your boy, Mr. Fetty, by the way. 5-0 Cubs. Got his debut with St. Louis and not looking too good early. Top of the 3rd now. Anyone new to the game? Anyone that is a part of the Twitter madness late last night and piling on this morning? Shame on you. First and foremost, we talk about it here. Know your sports book. Know the house rules. This is not your first rodeo, and if it is, shame on you. And my point is, if we bet a baseball game, full game, if we bet a baseball game and we do a prop, and it's called after 6 due to weather, guess what? It's avoided bet. I don't care if you cash in on the first pitch. It's avoided bet. A tennis match, if someone retires, good luck trying to cash that ticket. It's not going to happen. So the Hall of Fame game last night, Chicago versus the Texans, no Caleb Williams, no problem. Anyone that had the Bears in the over were doing cartwheels. At least whoever had the over were doing cartwheels. And then the rain comes in. They don't play 55 minutes. And guess what? The bet's avoided. And here comes Twitter. How can they steal from us? How can they do that? Guys, you're smarter than that. You know the rules before you place the bet. That's why we get cute here. We try to get team totals. Now, team totals is another sketchy one too. So a lot of books. If you have an opportunity to download and play in Fanatics, for instance, sportsbook, do yourself a favor and do it. Because as soon as your bet wins, they put the money in your account. It doesn't matter. So if you can find some soft books like that, God bless you. But please don't be that person. It's like, Jesus, I had the over, I had the Bears, and they robbed me.
And at the very least, if it happens to you once and that's and like you said, if you're new to the game and it happens to you once and that's your lesson, don't be that person that does it again. Because I remember when I first started, it was a baseball situation like that where I think I cashed it in the first inning, or I don't remember what the situation was. And then it was that lesson, and then that's your lesson to double check your rules and what you're placing. So it is a fair point, and I had a friend of mine that mentioned something to himself there, and I think he had the over, and that one hit. Obviously, I can't remember if it hit at halftime or right out of halftime, but obviously was not happy. But you got to check your book. So, but again. Don't be again. I obviously understand if you're trying to have a little fun, maybe with your buddies or something for some of these preseason games. But it's preseason football. It's very unpredictable. You're gonna get quarterbacks who you think are terrible. That like last night, Brett Ripien playing well, and then next week you're gonna get whether it be Brett Ripien or Davis Mills or someone else, 2 for 12 with 3 picks or something like that. So tread lightly on the preseason. I mean, if you need to dip your toes in to have some fun, then by all means. But for the most part, you got to wait here. It's a marathon, and you don't need to, bust yourself for the season while you're just trying to stretch for the season here.
Yeah, and I understand they all cash the same way, whether it's the Hall of Fame game, whether it was synchronized swimming in the Olympics, whether it was ping pong in Colorado. I get all that. Trust me, I do. Okay, but if you are getting over your skis on an exhibition Hall of Fame preseason game where none of the starters are playing, you might want to take a break, or you might want to take a zero off of what you spent on that play if you're getting that worked up over it. And I'll end with this true story here. I want to say a buddy of mine, but he is no buddy of mine anymore. That's for another day. Came into a lot of money via DraftKings. He the first tournament ever, Mr. Matsuyama won. He popped DraftKings for $40K. He hit one of those tournaments. And then so he was wagering, and let's just say he got a little over his skis. And next thing you know, he's playing around the clock here. Let's just say if he won $40K, he was losing about 20 to 25% of that a week. Okay, all of a sudden it was shame, and you couldn't talk him off the ledge here. So long story short, let's just say. He's got 25% left of his winnings, and he decides to keep going, and he won't listen to anyone. He dove into a tennis match where he was up 6-0, 6-1, and his opponent went to go serve to start the third set and tapped out. And the book decided house rules, it's a voided wager, and you want to talk about fire, you want to talk about whatever, and it was the ugliest story in the world. It happens. I mean, it's right there. Here's what happens in tennis. And needless to say, I think he stopped after that and waved the white flag. At least saved a little of the windfall. But again, know your house rules. ECSI VIPs, everyone that tunes in daily with us knows, for us, every game's the same. Everything's for one unit. If we decide to step on the gas, as we like to say, maybe a half dozen times a year, put a unit and a half on it, so be it. But again, it's sports. Anything can happen, Riley.
Yeah, and that is the key phrase there. Anything can happen, and anything will happen in a lot of cases, and whether that be the outcome or the lack of an outcome, that is always a maybe once a year, twice a year reminder, and it's always worth it whenever it does happen there. So, unless you've got anything else, my friend, are we interested in diving into some baseball talk here on this fine Friday evening?
Well, I'm not going to let you off the hook. So, are you going to talk UFC first, or do you want to dive into baseball?
We can get UFC out of the way there because, we can get long-winded with some baseball there. We've got a nice fight night on I think this is an afternoon card tomorrow. Yeah, afternoon starting card. Even the prelims actually start in morning in some cases there. So a lot of these prelims are a lot of guys. As I always say with some of these fight nights, it's a good case if you're trying to get serious with it. Watch some of these guys, see how they fight. If you're impressed by some of these guys, remember them, and next time if it matches up to a guy that you weren't impressed with at a different one of these type of fight nights, then you might be able to find a way to exploit it. The main card here for this fight night is actually really, really solid here. A really impressive fight night card here. You've got Tony Ferguson against Michael Chiesa, which obviously two huge names. Michael Chiesa. 3-fight losing streak, but a massive favorite here. He's fought some big names. And Tony Ferguson, 40 years old now, obviously one of the best fighters of a generation here, and it's a shame the way he's kind of going out right now. But it's a credit to him because he's not just taking some low-level, no-name guy to end his career on with a win. He's got a 7-fight losing streak coming into this, Jeff. But credit to him, he's fighting a murderer's row of names here: Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush, Michael Chandler, Nate Diaz, King Green, and Paddy Pimblett. I mean, 7 guys that are the first of them, obviously, or the first 4 of them, kind of at the peak of those guys' career, and he was still fighting at a high level in those. And now these last 3, still very, very big names, but obviously starting to see the age showing here. So I don't know what to expect out of this one. As is the case with him, it's very rare that he ever gets knocked out. So, I'm not, holding my breath that this one's going to end quickly. I do think this one could be a go-the-distance fight, and he just might his you-know-what kicked in again here for an 8th straight time. But go ahead if you had something.
It sounds like he's kind of ending his career like one of my all-time favorites, Mr. Cowboy Cerrone. Like, Cowboy, can you please stop here? I mean, when's enough?
Right, and he's such a warrior, and he doesn't go down easily either. So, and some of these last few fights, he has gone down by submission in some of these fights. But Michael Chiesa, for the most part, is a guy that takes a lot of his fights to distance. He's won some fights by submission himself there, so hopefully it's not another one where you're tapping out Tony Ferguson. But I do think this one could go the distance, but at the end of the day, this one could end in a couple different ways. But Chiesa to win by submission, 120, plus 120 to win by decision, plus 130. So the odds are either one of those is what's happening here. I would be very surprised if Tony wins this fight. That would be a hell of a way to go out. But not only is it what are you doing here, but you're taking some names that are just a murderer's row of names here. So hope we don't, hope we finally get a nice moment for him before he gets on out of here. But the third fight on this one is actually, I'm more excited for this one than the top 2 fights here, the main and the co-main. Marlon Vera and Davison Figueiredo. Figueiredo right now about minus 140. I do believe he opened up about minus 165. At least that's the book that I was looking at. And this one was bet pretty heavily quickly to Marlon Vera's side and bet it down here to minus 140, plus 120 for Marlon Vera. And when I look at it, both these guys, just in a nutshell, are bad men, as I like to say here. So this, in my opinion, I think is going to be an awesome fight. I think I probably would have flocked to either of these guys as plus money here. Obviously, you're losing a little value as compared to where it opened with Vera. The one thing that makes me hesitate, that makes me, that was before I was thinking this, was interested in Marlon Vera. The only guy that Davison Figueiredo the last 5 years has lost to was the 2 fights out of the 4-fight saga against Brandon Moreno. I mean, he has for the most part, handled everyone really, really well, if not dominant, or at least, pretty damn close to dominant. So he's still been so good. It's just that 4-fight saga against Brandon Moreno is what took him down a peg a little bit here. But Marlon Vera himself, I mean, he's got a couple of losses in recent memory. He lost to Sean O'Malley in the title fight most recently, but any of his losses are against some bad men himself. So I think this is going to be an awesome fight here. I do think this one probably goes the distance, and I almost want to lean towards Marlon Vera, but again, Davison Figueiredo is a really, really good fighter. So I'll go on record and say Vera gets the upset win by decision, but that one could go either way. It's damn near a toss-up, and at the end of the day, if it's a toss-up and you're giving me one of the guys at plus 120, then I'm going to lean towards the dog and take that money there. Again, would have been better a few days ago, the price on that one, but still, I do like the plus money there. So outside of that one, you've got a couple big favorites in the main and co-main event there. Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Always a mouthful for me to say that one there, but I think the odds are fair. I mean, Nurmagomedov has not lost in his professional career here. He's got 7 out of his 17 fights by submission. Corey Sandhagen, obviously a good fighter, but I think he's just a little bit above his, to use a term incorrectly here, but a little bit above his weight class, not literally, but figuratively here in this case. He could fight and put up a really good, strong opposition here, but at the end of the day, I could see this one going down by submission, Jeff.
Well, it's funny because I'm replaying the tape with Lou yesterday in my head, and the opening number, as Lou said, all the MMA guys were like, no way, holy hell. And they were jumping in on him at plus 300, plus 275, plus 270. I think he's down to plus 250 now. But as Lou said, they were correct in that analysis, but what we do in our lanes is you now have to peel back more of the layers, and what you just says is exactly spot on. The number, the value, and that word value was definitely on Sandhagen there, but it's nice to have that ticket. It's almost like a teaser in football. Yeah. I didn't like Nebraska plus 3.5, but boy, I love them at 9.5. And then the opening kickoff, pick 6, it's 14-0. I'm like, oh God. So no discredit. The eyes where everyone was exactly how you broke it down. But as you were going further, and I rudely interrupted, and I apologize, is the fact of the matter is, as you see who they fought and the talent, it's good on paper. It's good to watch this fight, but I think as this fight progresses, as I assume you'll close out here, you're going to say the favorite is the right side here.
Right, and it's just another guy in that line of guys that are kind of fighting in that same camp where you might have a chance to catch these guys in the first couple of rounds, but as the fight goes and it goes and it goes, they find ways to either avoid whatever danger you're throwing at them, or obviously, find a way to assert their dominance and rise above the occasion. So could it be a good fight? Absolutely, but it's going to be an interesting one. So I was surprised to see the odds where they were on this one, but I typically, when you have an undefeated favorite like this, they might even be a bigger favorite here. But at the end of the day, I do lean towards the favorite, but. If he wins, I'll go. If he wins, I'll go by submission. If it's the other way around, then Sandhagen's probably going to have to win this one by knockout. So I don't have too many other thoughts on these other fights. Like I said, a lot of the prelims I'll be watching to kind of learn about some of these guys. A couple of these guys I've seen before, but a lot of these guys on these early prelims are guys that I might be seeing for the first or second time here.
Top 4, 5-1 still. Cubbies against St. Louis. Full slate tonight. Again, we don't have to go through all of them. I'll let you pick and choose. Then I'll go through some team totals. Don't be afraid at any point to throw in a home run prop or two if you got them. So the stages, or I should say the infield is yours, sir.
Oh, there we go. And, it looked like the Cardinals were threatening the, I think it was the top of the third there. But only get one across there. So, I mean, we can go a lot of different places. You get the 17 straight losses for my White Sox there. Looking for a few more this weekend in Minnesota. They are big dogs, obviously, tonight. Let's see.
By the way, our last show, I said White Sox first 5. We did cash that at a big dog.
You did. They had a couple in a row where they blow it in the 8th, and I know you were leaning towards them. this would be the day, but then you did correct yourself and say, or maybe not correct yourself, but say you'd maybe even be better to go first 5 there. So that was spot on, my friend. Diamondbacks and Pirates in Pittsburgh. You got Fad as a favorite, or the Diamondbacks with Fad as a favorite in Pittsburgh against Luis Ortiz. Is this quite a bit of respect for the road team here as the favorite? I mean, Ortiz obviously not winning any awards, but certainly hasn't been a scrub to this point by any means.
This Arizona team is rounding into form, boys. This is the team that went to the World Series last year, and they're doing it offensively. Corbin Carroll and a bunch of the offensive guys has finally woken up. But where I'm seeing the difference is in the pitching again of Fat, who had a great second half and playoff run, and I'm really seeing it in Nelson. Nelson has really pitched great of late. And here's something that most people won't know is yes, Arizona favored tonight, but if you keep peeling the onion back, you'll see the Pirates are minus 135 to win the series. So guess what that means to me in my head? There must be a Paul Skeens Day coming up real soon, either Saturday or Sunday. That would be my assumption there. I do like this game. And I do like it in a sneaky way. Opening number, Arizona minus 130, now minus 124. You can get the Pirates plus 114, 8.5 overnight, 8.5 for. I'm not laying any juice, as you know, guys. I will if I do lay juice, but my point is not in this game. I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks team total over 4.5. And I got that at plus 105. Just get me to 5. I don't care who wins or loses after that. But my point is, the assumption is if Arizona's going to win a game, it will be tonight. But I like them to get to 5 or better. Plus 105.
Yep, I like it. And Fad did pitch against Pittsburgh last time out. Did not pitch very well. Had been very solid before that, so great bounce back spot for him. But you are correct. Mitch Keller tomorrow for Pittsburgh and Paul Skeens on Sunday. So you are correct with that analysis, my friend. Very good eyes. Kansas City and Detroit. Kansas City coming off. You might say they're hot, but they were fortunate enough to play 3 against my White Sox. They did win 7-1 yesterday in Detroit here. Detroit 4 straight losses. They are slipping a little bit here, but they've got Tarek Skubal on the mound. Cy Skubal at home against Kansas Cole. Cole Reagans on the mound for the Royals. A little up and down lately. Has had some good stretches. 8 hits, 4 runs allowed last time out. So getting hit up a little bit here. Tigers minus 120. What do you make out of this one? Would you like it to be a bigger favorite with Skubal on the mound at home against the Royals, or are you respecting the Royals coming in as the way they're playing here?
I like that, both observations. We had Reagan's first 5 last game out, and we took a 3-0 lead, and next thing you know, it's 3-3, and I'm like, damn, we're done. And we got a home run by Furman in the 4th to sneak that one out. And my first eyes on this was, holy shit, Detroit and Cy Skubal? Overnight number was 125. Money trickling in on Kansas City 114. That's too low for me for Cy Skubal. So it's a Kansas City number. In my eyes, it's a Kansas City number. And if anyone didn't check this out, go back and look at Bobby Witt's numbers for the month of July. They were historic. I mean, we're talking Mickey Mantle-esque here, Babe Ruth-esque. The guy is just, he's doing it all. And this Kansas City team, I talked to a colleague last night, and I said, unfortunately, I think Kansas City's going to beat the Red Sox out for a playoff spot. Now, that doesn't mean the Red Sox won't get the last one. Kansas City playing some good ball. They got some arms. They got the offense. They got the defense. They scared the shit out of me. Thank God there's no Saberhagen pitching or a Gubazar or Dan Quisenberry coming out of the bullpen. To me, it's, again, great price, great value on Detroit, but it's a Kansas City number. Both team totals 3.5 juiced under minus 135. First 1 to 4 wins this game. I lean Royals tonight.
And Bobby Witt, 13-game hit streak right now. Out of those 13 games, 8 of them are multi-hit games with a few 3 and 4, 6 of them 3 or more. And in the month of July, 489 average with a 520 OBP. Yeah, that was it doesn't get much better in a month for a hitter than that right there. That guy and against the White Sox obviously was an absolute menace there. So
And
yeah, he is. Go ahead.
I'm going to add this breaking news last night. Mike Trout done for the year. I saw a stat on Twitter in the last 4 years. And don't quote me on this, but I saw this with my own eyes. In the last 4 years, second half after the All-Star break, he played 0 games, 1 game, 41 or 5 games, and now 0 games. You lost Shohei. I said in the preseason spring training, when you had Shohei coming up and you knew last year you were going to be put in a bind, I would have moved Mike Trout then. I know you had him signed to a huge contract. My point is the Phillies wanted him. They wanted to bring him back home and pair him with Bryce Harper. Now, I don't know what the back consists of. Can he go 40 games and got to sit 25, go 40 games? I don't know, and I know the contract. I know, never won a playoff game. We all know that. You got to figure this thing out here. You got to make some phone calls in the offseason. You got to keep on yourself. You got to rip this whole thing down. You don't have a mantelpiece. You got to start over. You got to start from scratch. This all goes way back, Riley, when they were left at the altar from Garrett Cole. They brought John Madden over, and that was to bring Garrett Cole over, and they offered Cole the contract, and he took it to the Yankees, and the rest is history there. But when you had an opportunity with Shohei and Trout and one of the worst contracts in the history of baseball, Anthony Rendon, which it looks like Trout and Rendon just piggyback. I'll go on the IL now. You go on now. Let's both go on. And I love Mike Trout. I love what he does for the game, and he's the nicest guy in the world for the fans and the kids. But I hope nothing but the best. But the Angels need to regroup.
Yes, I mean, they should have regrouped at a certain point before this, because it's been you have two of the best players, if not the two best players of my lifetime at the very least, on your team at the same time, and you had nothing to show for it. I mean, the fact that Trout's only got one playoff series to his name, and it was an ugly one at that, is a travesty. So, moving on, Blue Jays and Yankees in the Bronx tonight. Let's see, we've got Kevin Gausman and Marcus Stroman on the mound. Yankees minus 165. Blue Jays obviously still kind of in the same spot they were. Yankees coming in with a little win streak here, minus 165 and a total of 9.5. Any thought that this could be a sneaky Blue Jay spot here, my friend?
You got the numbers in front of me. I think Stroman came into Boston and got lit up. Didn't he have a bad start his last start?
He did 3 1/3, 9 hits, 5 runs total. 3 of them earned, but 5 total runs allowed.
I like a bounce back here. Yankees are rolling. Toronto's back end is hideous. Hideous. Now, could have a good pitcher matchup early. I have a hard time going against Mr. Gausman, but at the same token, team totals 4.5 under, minus 140 for Toronto. Yankees are giving you the carrot, 4.5 over, minus 135. I like Yankees first 5 minus the hook. If you wanted to get into this game and not lay the juice, I don't do this often, but I would suggest Yankees minus a 1.5 full game. And because the Toronto back end, they traded half the team away. They called me up and asked if I can go an inning, and I had to turn them down. So it's pretty scary back there. So maybe the first 5 is not the way to go. Maybe it's a 2-2, 3-3 type, but the back end, whether it's, let's all get Jazz Chisholm, 4 homers since coming over, now back home. Judge, Soto, the list is endless. They're heating up, and as much as I'm an Oriole fan, Riley, I think they're probably right now, probably the team to beat.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm actually going to go my home run prop on this one. Not the obvious choice here with Judge. He's plus 160, but Giancarlo Stanton, 255, plus 255 for a Stantonian bomb here tonight.
What is Soto?
Soto 3-1. I was going to go towards him, but Giancarlo caught my eye a little bit more than Soto there.
Do they give you the token plus 180 or 220 on Judge?
Plus 160.
Oh,
Plus 160, my friend.
well, your eyes are spot on, by the way. Your eyes are spot on. Judge, they don't even give you a ham sandwich now. But no, you nailed it. So I won't double down and curse your play there. But no, Stanton is the call there. Great job.
Yeah. Stanton, Soto, and Judge, all great numbers against Gozman career-wise. Judge, 5 lifetime bombs off of Kevin Gozman here out of 11 hits. So
Make it
that
6.
might help the number. Yeah, make it 6, maybe 7 there tonight. Cleveland hosting Baltimore Cleveland hosting Baltimore. Carlos Carrasco versus Dean Kramer. Neither of these guys, Carrasco 6 earned in each of these last 2 games. Dean Kramer, last time out, 4 unearned runs, only one of them earned, but nothing special lately. He has been up and down all season long. You've got a 9.5 total, and the Orioles coming in as the road favorites in this one. Anything to make out of this one? Is that respect to the Orioles on the road? Cleveland's coming in with a 4-game win streak.
I've been waiting to bury this Cleveland team. And Jose, can you see, just keeps them going. J-Ram carrying this team. Back end, the best in the business. The front end is where you worry about. We went against Kramer, I think, the last game and cashed. Here's what caught my eye, Riley. Overnight, Baltimore minus 130. So I got to trust and respect the opening numbers there. With an 8.5 now, currently minus 105, both sides at the Circa, and a flat 9 at the Circa. I'm seeing 9s across the board currently here. I'm going to say Kramer stops the bleeding. I'm not a full game guy. I'm really not, but I got to trust and respect the opening number here. I'm going to take Baltimore full game tonight, minus the 105. And if you're looking for a cherry on top, got to lay 20 cents. But Baltimore to get to 5 or better, first one to 5 or 6 win this game. I think it's Baltimore tonight, minus 120.
And I was going to look and see Santander homer 320. That's the best odds out of this game here tonight.
Santander. Okay, I like that. I got to go with my man crush. What is Hadley?
5-1.
And Gunner?
Gunner, let me see here. My man Eloy Jimenez, I don't know. I didn't see if he played the other day or not, but he's 4-1 actually, is Eloy. You asked for Gunnar Henderson, 450.
Can you answer the question? I thought with the Eloy move that they would get rid of some. It's a logjam there. Where is Eloy going to DH?
Let's see. He pinch hit last night for a spot there. I don't think they have a lineup released here tonight. I have to imagine he's going to DH. He's abysmal, slow and injury prone in the field. If you're trading for him and putting him in the field, you're just asking for another 10-day IL stint right there. So I have to imagine he's DHing.
I just listen. I love Eloy, and God bless him. Go get a ring, kid. I'm rooting for you. But of the 30 or 32 teams, that was the last place I ever thought I'd see Eloy Jimenez.
There's a site that I use that has projections for today. I'm gonna see if they've they don't even have him in the projected lineup. I mean, 4-1 on the list makes you think the book knows that he's in the lineup though. So I would imagine he's DHing tonight, but we will see. So moving on from that one, we'll make it a little quicker here. We've got taking me a second here. Red Sox in Texas. Red Sox and Rangers. Cutter Crawford and Jose Urena. Urena coming off 4 1/3, 5 innings, 1 hit. They have not been letting him go too deep, but he's been pitching all right lately for this Rangers team. Only a handful of starts. He was out of the bullpen for a good portion of the season. Cutter Crawford for the Red Sox, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Last 2 for him have been ugly. You've got the Red Sox coming in as minus 115. I'm seeing on this spot here. Another high total though, 9.5 as the total, my friend.
He did not look good against the Yankees, and he's been giving up the long ball of late. I don't like the spot. I don't. They were minus 125 overnight. Now minus 109. You can get Texas at minus 101. 8.5 overnight was the under-over. Now a flat 9. Team totals: Red Sox 4.5 juiced over minus 20 cents. Rangers 4.5 juiced under minus 135. The only way and the only spot I would play this game is Texas Rangers team total over the 4.5, and that's plus 115. I don't like the game. I don't like the series. Let me see something here if I can get a signal here from the Texas minus 120 to win this series. So, yeah, I don't have good vibes here. I think Texas takes 2 out of 3. We were fortunate to finally win a series. First one since the All-Star break. Took extras to, Sox destroy Seattle. Seattle destroys the Red Sox. And then they go 10, 11, 12, whatever it was. And the Sox found a way to steal one in extras there. With a guy on second, first base open, and a AAA pitcher in there, the Seattle manager decided to pitch to Rafael Devers. Why? We still don't know, but we thank you.
Yeah, you gotta take those manager error in your favor whenever you can there, to put it in Monopoly terms there. I'll give you one more, and then I'll kick it to you if you had anything else to fill, and then we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Dodgers in Oakland here. Dodgers and A's. Gavin Stone, Joey Estes for the A's here. Dodgers minus 155. Are we talking a Friday night stench here, my friend?
What was it? Not Seattle. I got a brain fart here. Maybe Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks win the month of July for the most wins at the Circa, plus 5,000. And I think they ended up with 15, and one of the teams that had 14 was the Oakland A's. 14-8. God bless these A's. I love them. They're so fun to watch. I've been talking for a while now. They remind me of that Baltimore Orioles team 2-3 years ago that could just not quit, get up there, swing for the fences. Rooker, Butler, the list is endless. This team just won't quit. It smells to holy heaven. The whole world's on the Dodgers. The whole world's on the Dodgers. Team total over 4.5. Dodgers first 5. Dodgers full game. Dodgers full game minus the 1.5. I've been fading Estes, and it hasn't been pretty of late. I'm staying far, far away, but I will give you 2 home run props. And prayers to Freddie Freeman and his family and his child. Freddie left his son, I think it is, rare disease, yeah. and I guess they got it in check. God bless. Hoping for a big recovery. Scary stuff as a dad with 2 now older young daughters, but my point is it's not never mind little infants and young children. So God bless you, Freddie, and the rest of the family and your child there. I'm gonna go, of course, coming back to the scene of the crime, same state. I'll go with an Ohtani bomb on one side, and then I'm gonna go with Mr. Rooker on the other side.
Ohtani plus 150 for a bomb tonight.
less than Judge.
I know. 150 and Rooker plus 450 for Oakland over there. So not quite as big as an indicator as you like, but that doesn't mean you can't put one out there. But yeah, plus 150 for an Ohtani bomb.
I like it.
Alrighty. Anything else, my friend? You got a couple other good games that'll be fun to watch tonight. But anything else that you'd like to lay down before we get on out of here?
I'm going to look at some quick team totals. Everyone grab your pens and papers. I'll muscle through some team totals. I talked about the Diamondbacks to get to 5 there. There was a stench number starting at 640. I was very surprised at the Milwaukee number at Washington. Milwaukee and Montas getting his first start for the Brewers, I think, was minus 120. Now Washington and Irvin, the favorites there. So keep an eye on that one. A 9, I think there's going to be runs scored on both sides there. You can get Milwaukee team total over 4.5 at plus 100. Or if you like the Washington side, you can get them over 4.5 plus 120. Snell going to Cincinnati, not a pitcher's park, as we know. I can tell you, Cincinnati, we got game 1 or 2 against the Cubs. We got their team total, or first 5, one or the other it was. They got stuck on stupid for us first 5 and team total the next time out. Our only 2 losses this week on them. Snell versus Abbott, and the Padres are in Fuego. Maybe you can answer this. I'm assuming, was Snell added? Because overnight Abbott was minus 120, and now I see Snell and I see, and I'm saying Padres, I mean San Fran. Now I'm seeing San Fran minus 135. Was Snell added, or do you not know?
I believe so. Because I still see, on the book I see Blake Snell on ESPN, just to have another reference. I see Blake Snell now, but they still haven't updated one of the spots, and it was Kyle Harrison. So I do believe that change was made.
They flip. Snell's been lights out, guys. And the Reds sucked against the Cubs. So don't, and you know me and my San Fran guys. You know I'm a big San Fran guy. Just be careful here if you run into the window to pound San Fran tonight. They're due. Their bats are way overdue. They needed to get out of the home cooking. They needed to get out on the road. They need to bond together. They need to put some games together. I don't know if tonight's tonight, so just be careful there. We had Atlanta first 5 last night. Ground Chuck 4-1. We win that one. I'll give you a freebie here tonight, guys. Atlanta team total over 5.5. We need the extra point. We don't need the 2-point conversion here. We need them to get to 6 or better. So just the touchdown, plus 115 for Atlanta to get to 6 or better against Miami and Belozo. San Diego and Gomber looks like a trap for a team total. Kansas City, Detroit, no. I talked about the Yankees, but you got to pay a tax. You got to lay 35 cents to get to them 5 or better. I did say to lay the 20 cents. I think Baltimore gets to 5 or better tonight. Staying away from Red Sox, Texas. Here's a funny one. Tampa Bay at Houston. Baz versus Kikuchi. Under over 7.5. Yet Houston team total 4.5. Juiced under minus 145. So my point is, let's take the plus 125 and let's take the Houston team total over 4.5. We need 5 or better, but they're giving us plus 125 at the window. I will take that. And this is just beating up the dog. I feel bad at this point. Twins team total over 5.5. You get a plus 115 against the White Sox. Everyone that plays the White Sox right now, their team totals at 5.5, unless Crochet is pitching, and we know their back end anyway, so that's that. And last but not least, hold on 1 second. This one smells a little. Mets travel to the Angels. Blackburn versus Anderson. Angels team total over 4.5. You can get it plus 120. They're giving you the carrot with the Mets. Team total over 4.5, minus 130. Mets opened up minus 135, now 133. Opened at 9. It is 9.5 at DraftKings, at Caesars, and at BetOnline. So I think the Angels there to get to 5 or better. I think there'll be a lot of runs scored in that game too.
I think there could be a lot of runs scored in a lot of games with some of the totals tonight, my friend. So could be some fireworks in a lot of spots tonight, as we like to say. But as far as closing thoughts, I don't have too much. We talked about just about everything we need to hit on here today. I do believe, my friend, we've got some fun golf and some fights coming around the corner this weekend. So got some good thoughts all throughout the show on all that stuff. And aside from that, I don't have too much else, my friend.
No, it's been a great week. I can't thank you enough. Everyone watching all week, thank you. We're here in August. We're putting together the fall lineup. Trust me, you guys are going to have a blast here. Tons and tons and tons of education daily, with some jokes and some entertainment, of course. But trust me on this, we got the best of the best in all the sports, whether it's NHL, whether it's NBA, NFL, college football, UFC, PGA. We're covering them all, and we're just trying to get bigger, better. And we can't do it without you guys. Wager Wire, Riley, Viva, and we got a bunch of others coming in. So thank you guys so much. 6:15, Scotty Webb in the batter's box. We'll be breaking down the MLB, how he does it, sabermetrics, analytics, more initials, more abbreviations than Webster's dictionary. I don't know how he does it, but you got WOBA, NOBA, YOBA, Nerfy, Werfy. You got them all there. So God bless you guys. Great times over there. A lot of people watching and learning. So thank you all again. That's at 6:15. And he'll probably be back Saturday and Sunday at high noon. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. It's Fade the Public Friday. Don't be the pizza man. Go home, pay the bills, hug the wife, hug the dog, have dinner with the family, take everyone out for ice cream, and then get up at 3 a.m. like me and watch the Olympic golf. So see you soon.